Hello from Source Point. This is the third Mini-Mind Aerobics. My name is Joan Pierce. I hope you're ready to think. Get your paper and your pen. These will be some short mind challenges to keep you connected, thinking, and smiling a bit too. If you need to stop and think, feel free to pause the video. So here we go. A mind once stretched by a new idea never regains its original dimensions. Let's continue to use, stretch, and challenge our minds. Prepare to be amazed by how awesome you truly are. We're going to begin today with Tribond. I will give you 3 clues for each question. You guess what the 3 things have in common. It can be almost anything: a word, a link, a color, a person. There are 5 questions in this segment. Question number 1. Here are your 3 clues: picnic, pool, card. So number 1, your 3 clues were picnic, pool, card. Remember, this can just be about any kind of a link. Number 2, pumpkin, turkey, initials. Number 2, your 3 clues are pumpkin, turkey, initials. Number 3, fortune, bank, story. So your 3 clues are fortune, bank, and story for number 3. I sure do miss y'all out there. Wish you were in my audience right now. Number 4, your 3 clues are head, H-E-A-D, tail, T-A-I-L, cross. Number 4, your 3 clues are head, tail, cross. Finally, number 5, your last Tribond, your 3 clues are Swiss cheese, donut, bowling ball. Number 5, your 3 clues are Swiss cheese, donut, and bowling ball. If you'd like to pause it, you may. Otherwise, we're going to keep going with the answers. We'll go backwards this time. Swiss cheese, donut, and bowling ball all have holes. So Swiss cheese has holes, a donut has a hole in the middle, and of course bowling ball has holes for your fingers. Going backwards, number 4, the answer is wind. Head wind, tail wind, and cross wind. Number 3, the answer is teller. Fortune teller, bank teller, and storyteller. Number 2, pumpkin, turkey, and initials. These are things that can be carved. C-A-R-V-E-D. So you carve a pumpkin, you carve a turkey, you carve initials. Hope you're doing good. Number 1, picnic, pool, and card. The answer is table. Picnic table, pool table, card table. So you now have done your Tribond for the day. Next, I'm going to have you write down 5 words. There are 3 questions in each of these, in this particular segment, but you're going to get 5 words each time. You need to figure out what the common link is with the way they are spelled, or what they have in common, those 5 different words. So number 1, here are your 5 words. Deer, D-E-E-R, dog, gnat, G-N-A-T, ram, R-A-M, and rat, R-A-T. So what do those words have in common with how they are spelled? Deer, dog, gnat, ram, and rat. You may want to pause the video here, but I'm going to move on to number 2. Here are your 5 words. Blotter, B-L-O-T-T-E-R. Escrow, E-S-C-R-O-W. Forebear, F-O-R-E-B-E-A-R. Scallion, S-C-A-L-L-I-O-N. And finally, vamoose, V-A-M-O-O-S-E. What do those 5 words have in common and how they are spelled? Number 3. Here are your 5 words. What do they have in common and how they are spelled? Area, A-R-E-A. Example, Israeli, I-S-R-A-E-L-I. Onto is the next word, O-N-T-O. And your final word in that set is Urdu, U-R-D-U. So your clues for number 3 are area, example, Israeli, onto, and Urdu. If you'd like to pause the camera and take time to think about these, you may, but here are your answers if not. We'll go backwards this time. Area, example, Israeli, onto, and Urdu. Each of those words begins and ends with the same letter. So for area, it's A. For example, it begins and ends with E. Israeli begins and ends with I. Onto begins and ends with O. And Urdu begins and ends with U. A-E-I-O-U for the different vowels. Number 2, we had blotter, escrow, forebear, scallion, and vamoose. The answer this time with what do they have in common with how they are spelled? Each of those words contains the name of an animal. So blotter has the word otter in it. Escrow has the word crow. Forebear, of course, has bear in it. Scallion has lion. And vamoose has moose. Have one more to go. What did deer, dog, gnat, ram, and rat have in common? Not only can they be read as a word that's known front ways, but they can be read as a word backwards. So deer becomes reed, dog becomes God, gnat is tang, ram is mar, rat is tar. Whew, those are tough. Next, we're moving on to problem solving. This involves using numbers to get to the next step. There are 4 parts to this question. After you write down your first answer, I will either ask you to add or subtract to get to the next part of the question. After the 4th part, I will give you some time. Then I will go over the answer with you step by step. First part of the 4-segment problem-solving question. Please write on your paper the total number of cards in a regular deck of cards, not including the jokers. The number of cards in a regular deck of cards. From that number that you wrote down, you're going to subtract the number of letters in the English alphabet. So minus the number of letters in the English alphabet. To that number, you're going to add the number of items associated with a baker's dozen. So if you were tuned in to Mind Aerobics number 2, we already know that answer. So you're going to add the number of items associated with a baker's dozen. Finally, you're going to subtract the number of weeks in half of a year minus the number of weeks in half of a year. I'm going to give you a moment before we go over the answer. If you want to pause, you may. So I'm hoping that you got the correct answer, so we're going to go over it. The number of cards in a regular deck of cards is 52. From that, we subtracted the number of letters in the English alphabet, which is 26. So 52 minus 26, we got 26. To that, we are adding 13, or the number associated with the baker's dozen. So 26 plus 13 is 39. From that, we subtracted the number of weeks in half of a year, which is 26. And we got the answer 13. I love it when we can play with the different numbers over and over again, but we come up with a different answer. So thank you for doing problem solving with me. If you were tuned in last time, we did answers that ended in I, S, and T. We're going to do that again. There will be 5 questions. So your answer will be something like antagonist. IST is at the end of all of your answers. So here are your 5 questions. Question number 1. Reports on current news. Your answer will end with IST. Reports on current news. Number 2. Has multiple spouses. So your answer will end with IST. Has multiple spouses. Number 3, this person ending in IST writes long works of fiction. Writes long works of fiction. Number 4, this IST person prescribes corrective eyewear. This person prescribes corrective eyewear. Finally, for number 5, this person sees things in a positive light. A positive light, which I hope you are doing at this time. Your answer ends in IST. If you want to pause and get your answers, you may. I'm going to go back to number 1 and give you the answers at this point. Reports on current news, the answer is journalist. Number 2, has multiple spouses, polygamist. Number 3, writes works of fiction, novelist. Number 4, prescribes corrective eyewear, optometrist. Finally, number 5, I know you are one of these, sees things in a positive light, optimist. So I hope you did well with the IST, with the problem solving, and we are going to move on to one of my favorite jokes for the day. What do you call a short fortune teller on the run? What do you call a short fortune teller on the run? Hopefully you've already shouted out the answer at home. A small medium at large. So it was, what do you call a short fortune teller on the run? A small medium at large. All right, last time, I challenged you to write down 50 things that you were grateful for. I hope that you took the time to do that, because it really does change what's going on in your brain to positiveness and optimism. And in this time where we're getting a lot of negative, we all can use this. And then last time I asked you to remember things without writing them down, so I hope you did. We had 5 things that we were trying to remember until this time. And the first item was a purple paper clip. So hope you remembered with alliteration, purple paper clip. Next we had an empty toilet paper roll. Then we had a number 2 pencil. We had a brown shell. And a yellow highlighter. So I hope you remembered these from the last time that you viewed. So we had a purple paper clip. We had an empty toilet paper roll. We had a number 2 yellow pencil, brown shell, and yellow highlighter. This week's challenge, please write down as many words as possible that include the word up, U-P, such as upside down cake. They can be 1, 2, or 3 words, but every word needs to include the 2 letters U-P. That's your first challenge for the week. Your second challenge, and we will go over this in our next Mind Aerobics, count all of the total number of letter A's in the names of the continents. So you're going to count the total number of letter A's in the names of the continents. Please don't cheat. Please don't look these up on your phone. Use your own brain. All of the continent names have something in common if you don't include the words north and south. So I know that a lot of you know the answer to that. So next time we will reveal that. Here's your quote for the week. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. It's an African proverb. Remember, we're all in this together. Be strong, stay safe. Take time to do something that you love. Be well. Signing off. See you at the next Mini-Mind Aerobics.